Htp family, how you doing? You're tuning into the pro-black perspective on KWAZ Radio, and of course, it's your host today, Onitaset Kumat. Today is, of course, it's time to worship. You already know. It's always time to worship. Uh, and by worship, I mean warship. You know, study war and study our ancestors and make good with our lineage, right? So, you know, happy to have you here. Leave a comment if you're excited or whatever. But let's start with the first quote. This is from the greatest orators of all time, if you will. Well, actually, the ones available in America, but I mean available in English. But I want to say this though. This right here is honestly the ancestor you have to look into. If you don't look into any ancestors, shame, right? If you only look into one ancestor, it should be Taharka. I mean, Taharka is a great choice. You know, probably the best choice, in fact. Taharka, if you don't know about Taharka, he's so profound, so deep, so powerful, right? That you could find him in that little Bible you guys carry. You know what I mean? So even when you're trying to worship, you know, wrongly worship, right? You could learn about Taharka. So that's what I'm gonna say about this. Taharka is just one of the ancestors who redeemed Kemet. You know, Kemet fell under foreign rule, and him and his family came in. You know, Pianke, so on and so forth. They came in and they established black rule once again. You know, for the last time in Kemet. You know, so and I think he might have been the last ruler of that particular dynasty. You know, and of course that really tells you, that really exemplifies, what the African tradition is. A lot of us, what we have to realize is that, our ancestors had dynasties. You know what I mean? So a dynasty means that, let's say, you decide, hey, or we decide collectively, we do a revolution, and let's say I'm the leadership, right? Then you're gonna say, look, teach your son only, right? Teach your son to command the throne one day, and he's gonna teach his son to command the throne one day, and he's gonna so on and so forth. And of course, and it's not just son, because realistically speaking, I think Taharka might have been the nephew. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like it's not son, but the point is that you have this family. You have this family of leaders, and that's something that we don't even have today. Or even when we do have it, when we do have dignified, great representatives of our race, like we kind of sleep on their kids. You know what I mean? Or even their kids sleep on them. Example, if you want, like we don't really like Dr. King's daughter. We ain't really messing with Dr. King's Malcolm X's daughters. We ain't really messing with Khalid Muhammad's son. We definitely ain't messing with. He ain't even messing with his Bible as far as we know. So of course that's America. But even like you go in Nkrumah, you don't really mess with his daughter for some reason. Well, I mean, right? But there's a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like, uh, you know, we don't even respect the dynasty thing. Now, of course, you have like corrupt politicians in Africa right now, so you kind of like, yo, once we get them out, we get them out. You know what I'm saying? But all the same, it's worth understanding and studying the fact that realistically speaking, you are supposed to be developing a future, and if you're a leader, you should be developing your children to be leaders as well. That's why I still would give credit to, I think his name is Kambon. I don't remember his first name anymore, but his son is, my memory is just gone. But his son is Obadale Kambon, right? And Obadale Kambon, maybe, right? And yeah, he's following his father's footsteps. So that's like that's good. You know what I mean? But let's go right into it. Thank you for joining me. This is Taharka's quote, and so it's like this: My Baba Aman, right? So he's spiritual, right? Commanded me to place every land and country beneath my feet, southward to Reteku Kabet, northward to Quebec Core, and eastward to the rising of the sun, and westward to the setting. So what you have to understand is this, you know, a lot of times what we're trying to say, we say, oh man, white boy is imperialist, the white boy is trying to conquer, the white boy is doing. No, man, the white boy got it from you, fool. You understand? You are the global conqueror. That's the reason why you everywhere on the planet. You're the global colonizer because that's the reason why you are everywhere on the planet. If you were not the global colonizer, you wouldn't be everywhere on the planet. Now, of course, your form of colonization is much better. Your form of colonization does bring up the culture, bring up the people, and that might be a disadvantage in some regard. You understand? And you know it's a disadvantage because the way how y'all collapsed and now they got what you had. Okay? But it's important that but see, this is why you want to study. Again, I got the book of power, okay? I got the book of power so that you can study and say to yourself, you know what? Real talk, I see where we messed up. You know what I mean? Like, cause what I do is I write a speech that reflects Taharka's thinking, okay? And Taharka's gonna lay out how we messed up, and that's really what it comes to. You have to understand how we messed up, and if you don't understand that, then you're gonna keep messing up. You're gonna keep messing up. That's it. Cause you saw what I read. If y'all didn't check out, make sure you subscribe and all that. But if y'all saw what I read yesterday, you're gonna see brother talking revolution, right? And the thing is that he's sitting in prison. You know what I mean? Like, it don't even make no sense. Like, if you are in prison, you gotta be worried about your liberation, your freedom from prison. You gotta do whatever you can to get free from prison. Instead, he's there. He's incriminating himself. Further, and suffering for it. Human being suffering. For ideas in another man's head. You understand? Ideas he got from another man's head. It's like, no, man. What you have to do is you have to figure out how we can get around, like how we can establish a just a new world order in a sense. And not the new world order that they talking about, but the new world order that we want to be talking about. That's what it's really about. But we ain't even hearing that. You know what I'm saying? We're not hearing that. You know. If you think you're hearing that, you can drop a like. All right, let's go. That's the hard though, and of course, I'm gonna try to be short. I don't know if you can tell my voice a little raspy. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. Page 2. All right, so this is right here. So Marcus Garvey says, look, we are not going to be a race without a country. You have to understand what Marcus Garvey is talking about too. When he's talking at a time when there were like only 3 countries in Africa. You know what I'm saying? All the rest was like colonies, right? Now you got 50 something countries, but you might be like, well, they still the neo-colonies, like hold that, And even if they are neo-colonies, the point being that this is what you have to really try to accomplish. What you have to try to accomplish is building and developing those countries that are in Africa right now, so you could defend and strengthen yourself. We really need to be about Pan-Africanism, but we really need to be about Pan-African nationalism. Okay? And what Pan-African nationalism means is that we're going to go to Africa and build up a nation. Okay? Build up a nation par excellence so that the world can look at us and say, yo, you can't mess with them people. Them people know they know what's up. And the thing is this, like I said, you look at the stuff from yesterday, because this is Warship. You pay it, look, like I know, because some of y'all are like, whoa, bruh, that was like 4 hours, man. I'm not going to listen to them 4 hours. Now, you can put it on in the background, okay? You can put it on the background. Whatever it is that you do, like let's say you playing a car racing game. You don't need to listen to their rock and roll. You can listen to a podcast. Let's say you playing a card game. You don't got to listen to the banter going on. You can listen to a podcast. You know what I mean? Like there's ways that you can assist and help your people. Obviously if it's COVID, if you on that, if you want that social distancing, you probably can't play card games with nobody. But get in your community when you can, if you can. Put some cards on the table, or put some dominoes on the table, right? And instead of playing hip hop or some music, put on a podcast. Hear about the revolutionary thoughts of this brother, George Jackson or whatever, right? But also, hear the commentary so that you understand, look, wait a second, if we do win a guerrilla war in Chicago, then what? How do you stop Illinois from collapsing on Chicago? Because you could beat Chicago, but can you beat Illinois? You know what I'm saying? Can you beat Arkansas? Can you beat, whatever else? You understand? Michigan, wherever. Can you beat all of them? That's the question. Now, if you go to Africa and you say, look, let's let's do something positive. Now you working. Now you're gonna be working with a good government in Africa, right? Right, a good mayor in Africa. So now you don't even have to deal with the opposition because you're developing the people, and the people are developing each other. And now the only thing that's going to impede you is possibly the other nations, but you already got something for that because you already got the good forces on your side. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you have to understand the need for a country. You can't just, oh well, we're gonna do urban warfare, we're gonna take over the city. Now what? You understand? You can't keep going on as a race without a country. And of course, you have to remember, Garvey says this a century ago. You understand? So this should be common knowledge. This should be common law. But instead, we tripping. Right? But anyway, let's keep it up. All right, let's go. Page 3. So I shall teach the black man to see beauty in his own kind and stop bleaching his skin and otherwise look like what he's not. Now, of course, again, Marcus Garvey, and again, a century ago, this has always been. This is going to be something that's going to happen as long as you are colonized, as long as you are neo-colonized, because there's economic purposes for it. I'll tell you the economic purposes right now. Very easy, very simple. Look here. I'm gonna put it like this. I'll put it like this, matter of fact. Look, let's say you trying to hire somebody for a job. Okay? You trying to hire somebody for a job. Matter of fact, let's say we got a black airline, right? Now you got a black airline, right? You want to have a bunch of black hotties, right? You want to have a bunch of black hotties, if you will, on the stewardess, give people a good, comfortable flight. You don't want, mean, man, blah, 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 right? So you want them hot, nice looking women, dainty, whatever. I shouldn't have done that, but, like, just close the camera. Hold on a second. But anyway, you want them dainty, whatever, right? Now, that happens, okay? So now here, check this. You're in a black nation, there's some white folk there. White folk need some jobs too, okay? Now, which white person are you going to hire? Now let's say there's a white person who a white woman who braids her hair, she braids her hair and she tans her skin, and she tries to look like a black woman, right? She's not a black woman, she tries to look like a black woman and fit the beauty standard that you have, or maybe she got an afro, not an afro, but she got a wig with an afro, or whatever, I don't know, right? Or are you gonna hire the Norwegian, the Norwegian, blue eyes, blonde hair, fit the white woman beauty standard? You're gonna hire the one that tries to go towards the black beauty standard if you gotta hire one, right? If you gotta hire one because let's say the laws, whatever, right? That's what it is when it comes to us as a people. You understand? We there in another person's system. They control the power of the purse, and they're saying, "Look, okay, we gotta hire. Who's gonna put the black let's say in our case, who's gonna put the black folk at ease, right? Is it gonna be the Norwegian, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, like whatever her beauty standard is, versus the white woman who's trying to go toward the beauty standard that everybody else is already comfortable with. See, the trouble is that you're probably in a position where you're like, hey, I can't even imagine what it would be like to have it reversed and have the white beauty standard being cursed at and lowered at. But that's what it is when you reverse the situation. You understand? You understand, like right now, what puts people at ease and put people at calm. It's like I think it was the other dude said. I can't remember if it was. Like if your hair is nappy, white folk ain't happy or something like that. You know what I mean? Or something. Or I think it was. Oh yeah, you gotta relax your hair so the white folk can relax. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. Because even that. Like even when I knew, for instance, I knew. In high school or junior high school, that if you were wearing an afro, right, you were communicating something to black folk or to white folk, something that made you less employable in a sense, or made them think, hey, look, this person might be political as opposed to apolitical. You know what I'm saying? When you got that relaxed hair, you apolitical. You know what I'm saying? That's what they see. When you got that natural hair, they're thinking, oh wait, this person is proud to be black. So now it's the same with this. If you were reversing, you know, if these white folks show up and they're doing all they can to look black, you saying to themselves, oh look, this is not even somebody who's proud. This is not a politically white person. This is not a person who's proud to be white. This is a person who's rejecting their white identity. That's somebody that I could. That's if I'm gonna hire anybody who's white, that's who it's gonna be. That's the same thing. So what you have to understand and just tie it all together is that this is a matter of you, first off, improving the economic situation of your people. And not just this though, too. I want to explain this too. I want to explain this because this is something that, because I'm writing this other book, and you gotta start getting these books that I'm writing. You understand? Because when I'm writing these books, one of the things that really motivates me is the fact that they're moving, the fact that they're getting ratings, the fact that they're getting reviews. Okay, that's what's motivating me. The silence, that's not motivating. That's like, oh, okay, maybe nobody cares. You understand? So you need to say to yourself, look, I'm about to get this stimulus check or whatever you are. I'm about to, I got something, right? I got something. I'm putting it in a book. Period. And I'm reading that book. Period. And I'm reviewing it. Period. Okay? Matter of fact, I wanna just double back on that. There's a sister on Twitter. She done reviewed somebody else's book, right? And she gave a nasty ass review, to be honest. Now don't do that for me, but whatever. But she gave this nasty review. Well, not nasty review, but she gave an honest review, right? She didn't like the book, but she gave an honest review. The book's now selling more, selling better. You gotta understand what kind of power you have to influence. If you do good in this world, you can make the world a better place. So just understand that when people are asking you or people telling you to do something, just go ahead and do it. But let me just tie back into this. I'm writing about manhood right now, okay? And one of the things that you want to do as a man is you want to make it so that you form an economic system so that your woman don't gotta work for no cracker. You understand? Because you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta ask about bleaching and none of that. If your woman, right, is only in the black community, she don't need to worry about no white beauty standard, period. She won't even see the white beauty standard. You understand? That's what you have to focus on. Instead of worrying about, oh, well, they bleaching and no, and that's why I say, look, you got to go read these books. Now, of course, this book's not out yet. Of course, I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm going to slide this essay to y'all, free. You understand? But I shouldn't even have to do that. But it's only because I have that desire for our people to be better, to do better. That's the only reason why. You understand? I shouldn't be working for free, man. I'm a maroon, period. You understand? We don't work for free. When everybody was on the plantation, we was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't my scene. You understand? Like you don't catch me doing that kind of stuff. All right? Like if I go to work, let's say, for this white boy, right? I'm his supervisor, period. I say, okay, I'm the supervisor. You know what I'm saying? I'm the boss. That's it. I'm just telling y'all facts. You know what I'm saying? Take it or leave it. But the main thing is that, and that's the thing too. It's like you gotta, like realistically speaking, you shouldn't even be working for no crack. Well, I mean, if you got to. But if you are, you gotta start getting together, brothers. Listen to me. You gotta get together, set it up so that your sisters don't gotta work for no cracker. Period. That's how you go about with the real world. But y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all sleep. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks sleep. Bitter Medicine's in the building. You already know. Make sure y'all check out Bitter Medicine podcast. Of course, as well, Harsh Reality podcast. And of course, Queen's Council, which Queen's Council looking like fire too. So you better make sure you check those out. Come tell you, the platform is great. You gotta remember that too. You have to remember that because, just going through a lot of knowledge is really good. And like I said, it's easy. Some of y'all like, oh, I don't know. Look, just multitask. Just multitask. That's all you gotta do. When it's a podcast, you don't gotta look. You don't gotta use your eyes. You can just put it on the background. You can be driving, put on the audio. Like understand that you have the ability and the power to get information, the best information available to you. You understand? So do it. All right. But of course, you already listen to me, so more power to you. And if you ain't sharing this, if you don't share this with one person, right? If you don't share this with one person, I don't know. I might start taxing you. I might just start saying, look, you send me a cash app because there's something wrong with you. You understand? You sent me a cash app because something wrong with you because all you had to do was just share it with somebody. I remember this brother. Let me tell y'all this, matter of fact. There's this brother who's like, yo, it's really hard for me to get through to my, I shouldn't make that voice because he's a cool brother. But anyway, it's really hard for me to get through to my brother, my younger brother, right? First off, I told him, look, all you got to do, period, you get that pro-black companion, right? You get the Proverbs. You go through the Proverbs with him. Dude did that. And he was like, wow, I didn't even know my little brother was that deep, And wow, we had a great conversation because of that. Bruh. Now, here's the thing I want to say is that if you know somebody in your life, and you probably do, that needs that kind of voice, needs another voice, needs some guidance, needs to get informed, needs to so on and so forth, send them the podcasts I'm doing. And you don't gotta send them all of them, because you might be like, yo, this one might be not. You know what I mean? That's fine. You know what I mean? Nobody bats 1,000. Okay? But baseball reference, right? But what I'm saying is this, that that one yesterday with George Jackson, 4 hours and stuff, do that. You know what I mean? And I tell you, you could do some stupid stuff. You could play some freaking card games. Okay? You could play some card games. You could play some war games. You could play Call of Duty with a podcast in the background. You could play NBA 2K with a podcast in the background. It ain't even like if you doing that already, just play the thing in the background. You understand? You might not get everything being said, and the thing is this too, if you miss a certain part, you can just rewind. But the point being that it's better than whatever it is you just hearing, then LeBron passes the ball to, come on. Like you really trying to hear that instead of, and here's how guerrilla warfare is laid. This is how we lay out guerrilla warfare. We have to be mobile and blah, blah, blah. Like come on. Nah, all right. And yeah, I'm a little more expressive because the camera's on me, I know. Alright, check this out. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. You already know. And this is like the reality. Now, the reality is this. Look, the reality is this. You're an African, okay? The world wants slaves. Slaves are the most exploited population on the planet. Okay, you can exploit a slave. You can get a certain amount of value from an enslaved person that you wouldn't get from somebody who's free. Right? There are people who want to enslave you. Okay, and they don't look like you. All right. So, what does that mean for you? Right? It means that you have to, and this is like basic sense. This is common sense. Because you got to get away. There's a song from the 80s or the 60s or the 70s, I don't know what it was, but Bit of Medicine says, just do it. Excellent point, right? But it's like, the song is like, run away, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not singing right now, but you understand. It's like, run away if you want to survive. Like, that's the whole song. It's like, run away, run away, run away if you want to survive. That's it. And matter of fact, it's pretty interesting too, because I think it's like a German song. And they sing it in English. And they got like a black woman dancing, or maybe with a black woman singing it. But she's just like, look, if you want to survive, run away. And that's common sense, especially if you can't fight. It's like this basic thing. It's fight or flight. And fight or flight means if you can't fight, run away. That's all it means. It means if you can't fight, run away. That's the smartest thing you could do. Now, you could say, well, there's flight or surrender. There's fight, flight, or stay put. No, it means like for instance, if I hear a noise in my house, right? And it sound like it's 20 people, right? Now, let's say, 20 people might not be hard for me, right? Well, let's say it's 50 people, right? I know damn well 50 people marching into my home, already in my home, like I already know. Matter of fact, I actually did hear that one time. No, not 50 people, but I did hear one time some people casually talking. It was different, because you was just like, shit, I'm surrounded, right? But But that's what you but then you say to yourself, look, I ain't got nowhere to run. My escape route is blocked off. Time to go out fighting. Period. You understand? You have to understand how the psychology is. So it's like, if people are trying to enslave you and you're not fighting them, you should be fighting. You should be gone. If your people aren't fighting the enemy that you have to fight, just dip. Just get out. You plan out get your exit route, and that's it. That's it. I don't even gotta go much more into that. But let's see. This is another Marcus Garvey. So, check this out. We have decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. This is so important because, again, it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. And again, you want to check out that podcast from yesterday. I mean, I know it's long. I know it's like, yo, bro, I can't do that. I got to do something. I'm too busy. Like I said, you driving your car, you riding the bus, you even when you playing your dumb games, whatever it is that you're doing, as long as you're not doing something intensive. Now, look, if you're reading a book, that's fine. You don't gotta listen to something while you're reading a book. That don't make no sense, right? If you having a conversation with somebody, obviously you don't need to listen to. You don't need to read. You don't listen to the podcast. But if you're doing something that's not intensive, and look, get y'all head out of the gutter. But if you're doing something that's not intensive, then go for then put something in the background. But look here. Like I said, because one of the things that I pointed out yesterday was that, when I talk about leadership, people be like, oh, we don't need any leaders. We're our own leaders, blah, blah, blah. Marcus Garvey, Pan-African Nationalist. George Jackson was telling you the same thing. Get yourself some leadership. You need leadership. You need the vanguard. You need this. You need that. If you don't have this, nothing's going to come for you. And yet people today are telling you, why are we having leadership? Same thing, man. It's just like, like we have to have some basic sense, some basic knowledge. Because again, if you're talking about on a wide scale of people moving and doing things, right? When you talk about a wide scale of people moving and doing things, what you're talking about is you need a hierarchy. Because if you don't have that hierarchy, you are liable to effing up. Okay? Case in point, I gave you all the example yesterday, the false flag example. Or even like, let's say, the dude was saying, he's like, one of the weaknesses of the police, right, is that they have uniforms and badges so you see them a mile away. Now, of course, they got undercovers as well, so I don't know what he's talking about. But still, you have uniforms and badges so you can see them from a mile away, right? If they didn't have uniforms and badges, right, if they didn't have any sort of leadership to say who is who, and give them an ability to discern who's who, right? You could end up with the two sides shooting at each other. You understand? You could end up with the two sides, the same side shooting at each other. Matter of fact, I saw that in a movie, right? I saw that in not a movie, a TV series, one of the best TV series I've seen, and it was on like BBC or something, So it's like this black series where the dude's like an undercover cop or something, but I'm probably gonna spoil it. Who cares? What you gonna do? Fight me? Like, good luck, right? Good luck fighting me. You know what I'm saying? But here's how the series went. I mean, here's one of the scenes in the series. The brother is trying to do a fake drug deal. Okay, he's trying to do a fake drug deal, right? Because he's a cop, right? With some innocent white boys. Okay, he's trying to incriminate some white boys, and what he ends up doing is there's a white girl who's also an undercover cop in the gang, right? And so what they're trying to avoid, I think, or I don't remember. So that's not even the case. But let's just say it this way. They're trying to avoid them doing the drug exchange with each other. You understand? Because then it's just cops selling drugs to other cops. You get what I'm saying? So, and of course, she's like checking the dude and she don't even know he's a cop, so he has to subtly code it so that she figures, oh, he's a cop, and instead of like checking him and saying, oh, look, this guy's not even a real drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the situation. But if you don't have the leadership, what happens is you have some people going undercover to go infiltrating the gang, right? And you have some people infiltrating the cops, right? And then eventually they killing each other without any way to notice because there's no central intelligence, there's no intelligence, there's no leadership to tell them, oh wait, you're doing the wrong thing. You understand? So again, you want to have that leadership. That leadership is really what's important. But it comes up. It comes to, we have to work together to really get that going. You know what I mean? We have to decide what it is that we want to do and how we want to do it, and really, get our people on our feet. You understand? But again, the best bet is going to be the continent, because like tactically, what you're going to find is that you're going to, like I've already said. I think I already said it today. But if I but I said it yesterday, right? When you take over Chicago, yeah, I said it today. When you take over Chicago, when you take over a little city, right? How you gonna deal with the state? You understand? How you gonna deal with the state? Or how you gonna deal with the other states, the neighboring states? Because it's like, if you do something great in Africa, right? If you do something great for a city in Africa, right? The state is gonna be like, yo, you good people, you good family. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say I go to Lagos and like poverty eradication or solar panels and all that, right? It's like, hey, could you help out the rest of Nigeria? You understand? If I say, hey, you know what, black autonomy in Chicago, right? We go military, black autonomy, right? The rest of Illinois is gonna be like, hold on a second, we're losing revenue. You understand? You already know. You already know. All right, so this is gonna be the last one. So of course, I like keeping it, short, simple. Shit, yeah, I know, right? Y'all like, wait, so you just said you the 4 hours. All right. So, you race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good-for-nothings. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you had better die. Marcus Garvey, you already know. So you got to do the Garvey voice at least once. So yeah. So anyway, so Marcus Garvey, he's like, look, what are you good for? Like, how are you so cowardice? How are you so like what are you good for? Other people have built up their own. Because when you talk about revolution, listen to me. When you talk about revolution, you have to understand these white folk are actually the descendants of the quote-unquote American revolutionaries. Well, not all of them, obviously. Some of them are immigrants or whatever. But even like the spiritually descendant, in the sense that they're trying to uphold their own constitution. And even if you say this, say what you want about these white folk, they actually marched and stormed into the Capitol while y'all were marching, for 50 years, 100 years, whatever, marching down the street, doing this down the street. They were legit rushing the Capitol of the United States, one of the buildings, and then they were going to kill politicians, kill senators. That's you got to give them credit. You got to give credit where credit's due. Now, you might be like, well, they infiltrated the Cubs, and the Cubs helped them out. Yeah, because they're serious. You understand? They're serious. You got to give them their credit. You got to give them their credit, because I haven't seen all this talk about revolution, because these brothers was like, oh man, you're going to vote? And voting doesn't do anything. What we need to do is we need to do violent insurrection, and then you're like, okay, so when's the battle? I ain't telling you. We can't talk. It's not going to happen anytime soon because you guys are voting. These same white folk, they voted. And they marched on the Capitol. And they infiltrated the building. They stormed the Capitol. Same white folk voted and they still stormed the Capitol. And I mean, if you do the math, you realize, like I said, you realize that if Trump lost by 74 million votes, and Biden won by 81 million votes, and black folk, let's say 90%, well, 90% of 20 million is 18 million. 18 million black folk voted for Biden, right? And if 18 million black folk voted for Biden, and the difference between the popular vote, and these are popular vote, because of course, it's all state by state, but by the popular vote, it was a 7 million difference, right? That means that if black people were not voted, Trump would have won. Okay? If black people were not voted, Trump would have won. So to now, these white folk are saying, look, we lost this election because of the enfranchisement of black folk. Period. You understand? Now, obviously, it's not like that because it was state by state. So you really have to look at the margin of difference in each state. And allegedly it would be the city, would be the blah blah blah. So but like really realistically speaking, maybe Trump lost by like, because I know Hillary Clinton lost by like 4,000 votes. Like she had a way more million votes, but like maybe like 4 million more votes, but she lost by like 4,000 votes because it really depended on what state. Now, obviously, you wouldn't even put it all on black folk because there's a lot of states that are just white and they still went Democrat. You understand? But all the same, it's like you know when you do the math, when you figure it out, you say to yourself, look, these white folk, they did it. They did this revolution against these freaking British, right? They got their own constitution and they upheld their constitution and they're fighting you to uphold their constitution. And even when and then they're like, oh look, you know what? We don't even agree with losing this psychopath, this orange psychopath. So we're gonna storm the Capitol. We're gonna kill the people that the black folk elected. You understand? Like you have to realize that this is the thing that you could be doing, but of course you shouldn't be doing it here because you're still gonna be surrounded by 300 million white folk or 200 million white folk or whatever the number is, right? What you want to do is you want to go to Africa and really get it done. So that's really the whole message that other people have done what you need to be doing, so you need to be going and doing what you need to be doing. But otherwise, I'm so grateful that you guys joined me for this time to worship. I'm gonna rename it Time to Worship. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like weekly worship. I like Sunday African worship, but I'm gonna rename it Time to Worship. Thanks so much to the 4 people who dropped some likes. Thanks so much for the people who shared the video. But otherwise, we're gonna be out, and we're gonna and that's it. That's it. That's the whole book. And of course, if you wanna check out the book, you can click the link in the description, and you'll have the book at your disposal. Otherwise, just buy it on Amazon because it's there. But thank you so much for listening. And of course, as always, Shem Yem Hotep, Anku Jas Neb Neb, Amen, Ma'at Dua Netcha.